Hey, this is Doc Yates. I'm a naturopathic doctor, registered acupuncturist, and a kinesiologist, owner of the Yates Naturopathic Clinic, and the founder of the interactive health website, Able Health. And this is the Simply Health Podcast, a show for females where I work to simplify and demystify the secrets of achieving optimal health naturally, based on my own experience in working with thousands of female patients over the past 15 years of my clinical practice. Welcome to Simply Health. Hey, this is Doc Yates, and on the Simply Health Podcast, we're going to be wrapping up a little bit of this series about fertility. This is all in lieu of our fertility.ablehealth.us release to help people with natural treatment solutions to their fertility. And what I want to do today is kind of take this entire topic of everything we discussed, and instead of getting into any specifics, use a little bit more of like a broad brushstroked, because we want to make sure that you're not getting lost in the details. Because too often you start doing too much internet research and everything on your own, and all of a sudden it becomes down to, in your mind, is coming down to these tiny little specifics that in the end might not even matter that much. Like, for instance, someone may, the only reason I was taking 200 milligrams of inositol and I should have been taking 250 milligrams, and they start getting all like overwhelmed with these little details that those fine-tuning things probably don't make that much of a difference. So let's go through and kind of discuss some of the big picture items for fertility that you want to make sure that you have addressed, so that you're going to optimize your chances of success with as little added stress as possible. And this is the whole reason that we've designed the fertility.ablehealth this way, is just so that it can take care of a lot of this for you and give you the simple plans that you need. So, and this is all addressed. So if you go to the fertility.ablehealth.us, there is a fertility quiz on there, and by answering that quiz, it will address the vast majority of these things for you. But anyways, let's begin. Number one, start simple. Start with your cycle. Do you have a regular cycle? We're talking about, the optimal is like a 28-day cycle, but do you have a cycle that's somewhere between 24 and 35 days? And is that happening, fairly consistently? It's not like you get one cycle every 4 or 5 months or anything like that. In those situations, if you do have a cycle that's off, or there's something that, if it's really inconsistent, and this is typically paired with something called PCOS, then you want to focus on balancing out your cycle. So what can you do to balance your cycle? And again, we're here to help you with that. That's where some basic supplements and everything can come in. So you want to make sure that you don't need to focus on, I need to have an exact 28-day cycle, but let's try and get a cycle somewhere between 24 to 35 days. It's just going to make the timing of fertility so much easier. Another important factor, and we discussed this in the last podcast or two, is your weight. You want to make sure, and again, it is a fairly big range, but you want to try and keep your optimal weight between 20 to 25 BMI. And what that means is, say if you're 5'4", we want your weight somewhere between 116 to 145 pounds. So it's about a 30-pound window that you'd ideally want to be in. And in being within this window, if you're too light and you're under that, maybe consider, if you're over-exercising, tone it down. And if you're not, and you might not be eating enough, because if your body just has any thought that you're in stress or malnourished, it will shut down fertility. And if you're overweight, it can it can throw off your hormones. So it's not that you need to be an exact weight to the pound, but within that 30-pound range. Thyroid. The big thing for thyroid, it's a simple test. You can go and get it checked, and if it's way off on the testing, outside of even the ranges on the labs, then it's a simple treatment that would add something called Synthroid or desiccated thyroid to help balance that out. Generally, in a fertility case, it would be Synthroid. But most cases, the vast majority of cases, are not outside of that window, and in which case you don't need to use thyroid hormone typically. You just need to do something to support the thyroid. And this is like a simple herbal formula. We use things like rhodiola. We always make sure there's trace amounts of iodine built into there. So for thyroid, to put a simple brushstroke on it, when you get your thyroid checked, you would want your TSH to be about 2.5 or under. Keep that nice and simple. If you have a thyroid that's within that range, but then you have all of these symptoms of low thyroid, like fatigue, splitting nails, brittle hair, then you would just do the same thing. You would take the same basic thyroid support formula just to optimize the effect of the thyroid on your body. Because it's not always just about the thyroid hormone, it's about the effect on your body, but it's still simple because it's the same solution. You use a formula to help support your thyroid and your use of thyroid hormones. So it's the exact same thing. And again, all built into the system. Testing. Other testing besides thyroid, it's not a bad idea to get these top 3 things tested. These are the main things you want to know to optimize your fertility. Number 1, are your tubes, like if this is, especially if you're going to go through your medical doctor, you want to make sure that your tubes are not blocked. And this is just a simple ultrasound, and they do put a little bit of saline in there just to make sure that the tubes are not blocked. Because I have had this once happen early in my practice, and they were doing everything right. We had their cycle balanced, everything was going great, still not getting pregnant, only to find out when they finally got in for their test that their tubes were blocked, and therefore everything we was doing was in vain. So it's very rare, I would say. In fact, it's probably only 2 cases where I've seen where the tubes have been blocked. So it's very rare, but it's a very simple test that you can ask your medical doctor to do. Because a lot of the times what I have found, by the times I see people in fertility cases, they've already been to their medical doctor, and it's that classic case where they've checked those things. They've checked their tubes, and their partner has checked their sperm count, and those are typically normal. And when those are both normal, then it's this unexplained fertility, and that's where the natural treatments of fertility really soars in these unexplained cases, because there's just a few tweaks you need to make to your body overall. These simple, like I said, brush-stroked treatments. So have your partner check their sperm count, check that your tubes are open, and then there's some simple ovulation test kits that you can just do just to confirm that you're ovulating. And again, chances are that if you have a cycle that's 24 to 35 days, you're ovulating each month, but it's a simple test that you can just pick up and check it to see what's going on for that. So these are some of the top broad things that you're going to want to check and rule out. And I guess the only things that you'd ever want to see to make sure to get the testing done through your medical doctor, and if ideally you could do this early. One of the issues in Canada is that some medical doctors won't do anything until you've been trying for 2 years. And I can only imagine the frustration of trying for 2 years before they'll do any testing. But if you're in a spot where you can get sperm count done, tubes checked, confirm those are open, you can check the ovulation test kits easily on your own. But if you get those 2 things checked, make sure everything's good that way, then you can just focus on the other natural treatments that are going to optimize your fertility and get the results you want. And lastly, relaxation. And I hate talking about this one because I hate when people say, and to hear people say, oh, just relax, and don't think about it, and then you'll get pregnant. It's like, how do you not think about it? So anything else that you can do to relax besides just trying to sit there and not think about it would be great. So gentle exercise, getting out for walks, reading books, and of course, this is for me where acupuncture comes in. Acupuncture has a very good relaxing effect, and there's also points specific for fertility. So anything where you can get like a 2-for-1, in my opinion, is great. Acupuncture has already been studied and shown to benefit for relaxation, and shown and studied to benefit for fertility. And we try to combine those together so you can just use these little acupuncture stickers. Like literally, there's these little stickers that you can get, and that we offer through Able Health. It's about 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, and in the very tip of it, there's a needle about the size of a mosquito nose. And I'm not exaggerating. It's that small, you barely feel it, and you just stick those stickers on. That's it. You leave them on for about 20-30 minutes, take them off, and go about your day. You don't need to be lying there completely in zen, but if you want to just lie there and relax for 20 minutes with them in, you can be reading, anything you like. So anything we can do like that to help with relaxation is going to be great. So again, just to review, regulate your cycle, try and get your weight within 20 to 25 BMI, check your thyroid, or if you have any thyroid symptoms, take this thyroid support formula. If you're going to get some testing done, check that your tubes are open, check that there's a good sperm count and quality, and that's all the same test. And do something for relaxation. Perfect example would be getting outdoors more, taking walks, and trying some of this acupuncture with the sticker needles. So I hope this was helpful, just to help you kind of refocus on some of the big picture items. And this is Doc Yates signing off. Thanks for tuning in to Simply Health. If you want to learn more about health, check out Able Health. If you want to see some of the other projects that I've been working on in health, business, music, and life, please check out the links below.